Today, I am here with Deirdre Morrison, my colleague at the Neurodevelopment Institute, a fantastic coach, and I am Gabriella Benko. And today we are going to talk about the inner voice. So, Deirdre, yeah, I can see the smile on your face.
Yeah, such a great topic, isn't it? And this is the thing, everybody at some level has this inner conversation. Well, actually, I think there are a few people who don't, but very, very few people don't have this level of inner conversation that arises for us. And it's really quite often to do with, very few people have an inner voice that, is their inner cheerleader. This is, I think, why we have it as being synonymous with the inner critic. So many more inner critics than inner cheerleaders.
Yeah, it's really self-saboteur, inner critic, the negative, right?
Mm.
And what was a little bit reassuring for me to know that this is a universal voice. Everybody has it. So there are, I think, more than 7 billion people on this earth now. And it would have been great if I had known that long time ago when I first became aware of it. And a lot of people, when we start talking about it during coaching sessions, you feel isolated with this voice. You think it's only you. And after a while, when you realize this is a universal, and by neuroscience, we can give some explanation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things about this voice, when we hear these little messages very clearly, they're part of the brain's function to protect us. This is a lesson that's been learned somewhere along the way. And this is teaching us, or this is showing us or giving us guidance on how to avoid the thing that, the outcome that we don't want. So it might be, if it's a saboteur kind of thing, that, we don't want to fail. We don't want to be embarrassed or shown up or made to feel like we're a fraud in some way. So we might think that, oh, well, you can't do that for some reason, whatever form that message might take for us.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, this is hardwired in our brain. So this comes from our past experiences, right? So
yeah, but not quite hardwired. I mean, this is the thing. This is the great thing about the brain,
right.
is that we do have neuroplasticity. We can change these things. But I think one of the problems is that people kind of go all or nothing with these. And one of the things that I love to think about is that, this is here for a reason. This has worked. We're still alive. As far as the brain's concerned, it's worked. But it's not about the hard wiring, because everything and all of our beliefs, all of our thinking can change. So we've got to work out, what is it that it's telling us? What is it that it's trying to protect us from? Is this really rational thinking now? What else can we think? What else is true? And how can we look at it from a different perspective? Because realistically, we've had these voices, most of us, for so long. They go way back, before we can even remember in some instances. So what they're trying to protect us from is not necessarily there anymore.
Yeah, it's so true, because it might have been useful before. Is it useful now for us, or is it limiting us?
Yeah, and I mean, we've got this this thing as well, that we talk to ourselves almost more than anyone else talks to us. We have this running conversation inside. And I remember sitting with someone, and I think she'd forgotten that I was there. This is one of the smartest and most capable people that I've ever met. And she was sitting trying to do something with a difficult form online. It was, just one of these mazes of the internet, trying to get something done. And it was against a deadline. And she was sitting there. And as I said, I think she'd forgotten that I was there, because she was repeating to herself over and over again, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I know I can do this. I can do this, So this was what she was telling herself. And I think that, when we recognize that we can actually change the messages, that we can actually create the new habits to go with the voices, when we can integrate the lessons from the voices with the actual objectives that we now have, then we have a different relationship with them.
Yeah. And there might have been that little voice saying, you can't do it, but she was reaffirming herself, I can do this. And this is kind of refocusing on this affirmation that I can do this and believing in that. And then this is about neuroplasticity, right? Because you muscle it up. You muscle this message up.
It's like the, I mean, when we do something once, that's great. But it's like the line of footprints in the snow. One line doesn't make a path. You've got to walk over and back across it to strengthen it, to actually make it into a proper path that you can see. And this is, they say as well, what fires together wires together in terms of making those new neural connections. So the more we do something, the more thought we give it, then that's how we actually start to think, start to see things. So if we start to, if we keep that negative frame, if we keep those voices that are telling us that we shouldn't, or that, somehow we're going to be scolded, or we're going to look stupid, or whatever it is that we have been telling ourselves all along, that's where our attention is going, and we're feeling those things because that's where our attention is. Whereas if we look at the evidence for what we have accomplished and actually take time to think about, right, okay, well, I have done this. I have got to this stage, whatever stage I'm at. I have managed to do X, Y, and Z. I am capable. I know that I can do this. I can get help if I don't feel fully capable myself. But, thinking about it in terms of what's possible rather than how we might somehow lose.
So it's as I'm listening to you, really, it's taking time to also appreciate progress.
Yes.
And this is so important. And after that, kind of looking into the future and trying to think about the next steps and trying to create this new positive habit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to strengthen.
Yeah, and looking at the success, celebrating success, that is so important in terms of enhancing these more helpful voices. And I remember someone saying once that we're very good at looking at failures and having postmortems of failures and why things went wrong, but realistically, we need to look at why things went right as well. We need to, see what our contribution to that was, what it was that we did that actually helped us to get what we wanted at that time, and how can we do more of that?
Yeah. It's very important, I think, that not just focusing on the learnings, but also what we have been doing already well. Because we want to strengthen those neuropaths, and also, of course, we have to work on the neuropaths that we want to strengthen. But it's just we want to go to the right direction, not just always thinking about new learnings, but also appreciating that this is going well, and I want to continue doing that.
Yeah.
All right, that's fantastic about the inner voice. So thank you, Deirdre, for this conversation.
Thank you, Gabriella.
It was fantastic. We learned a lot about neuroplasticity, and yes, we can change, and there is hope. And even though we have these negative voices, we can tune them down, and we can replace them with positive messages. So as just to finish off today's video recording, we are working together with my colleagues at the Neurodevelopment Institute. We are offering coaching to people who reach out.
Yeah, so all the profits basically from any of the sessions that are booked through Neurodevelopment Institute will be sent to the Red Cross so that they can assist people in areas of conflict who have the most need at this time.
And just go to the neurodevelopmentinstitute.com page, and you can find all the information you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you.